Fastest way to understand GoldenEye speedrunning is this. The game is not being beaten, it is being negotiated with. Every door, guard, pause, objective, and frame of lag is trying to take 1 second. And in GoldenEye 007, 1 second is not small. 1 second can be a decade. 1 second can be the difference between a famous record and a time nobody believes is possible. This is a 20-minute deep dive into why a 1997 Nintendo 64 shooter became one of the strangest and most competitive speed games ever made. The headline number right now is almost absurd. Across all current individual level world records, the combined time sits at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 56 seconds. That number is spread across 60 different records, 20 stages, 3 main difficulties, and a community that still treats each mission like its own laboratory. The viral part is not just that GoldenEye is still active. It is that many of these records look finished. Then somebody finds 1 more second hiding in the floor. You will see why players stare down at the ground. You will see why they run diagonally through half the game. You will see why a short level like Runway can become a psychological wall. And you will see why GoldenEye is not one speedrun story. It is 60 tiny speedrun stories tied together by one brutally old engine. Start with the rules, because GoldenEye has a very specific culture. The elite rankings are built around original Nintendo 64 play. No cheat devices, no codes, and proof is required. That matters because this game is full of unlockable cheats. Turbo mode exists, invincibility exists, but the main rankings are about beating the game as it exists on real hardware. The proof standards are strict for a reason. The video has to show the run clearly. The sound has to line up. The end screen has to show the final time. That creates the first string split in the scene. Individual levels are ranked by the mission clock, but single segment speedruns are ranked by real time. On one side you have the individual level world records, where the game timer decides the result. On the other side you have any percent, where the whole game is played in one sitting. The individual level side is the identity of GoldenEye. It is why a player can spend weeks on dam, facility, silo, control, or caverns without touching the rest of the game. That also explains why GoldenEye history can feel so compressed. A level might last 42 seconds, but the record history behind it can stretch back across 25 years. GoldenEye movement is the first trick. If Bond runs forward and strafe at the same time, the movement vectors combine. The result is diagonal movement that is roughly 40% faster than straight running. So the correct way to move through GoldenEye does not look heroic. It looks like Bond is sliding sideways to a building while trying not to look at the thing he is shooting. That one fact changes everything. Hallways become diagonal lanes. Turns become movement puzzles. A door that looks straight ahead becomes a question of how long you can keep maximum speed.
Do or do not. There is no try.
The second trick is look down. GoldenEye slows down when the scene is heavy. If the player looks down, the game renders less and the run often moves faster. So a lot of elite GoldenEye footage looks wrong to a casual viewer. The player is staring at the floor while the mission happens in peripheral vision. This is not a meme. Look down can save meaningful time over a long run, and it has helped push records that people once thought were maxed. The third trick is pausing. GoldenEye has mission objectives, weapon selection, gadgets, and menus. Pauses create lag spikes. Good players learn when to place them during dead time. The best pauses are hidden inside waiting. If a level already forces a delay, the runner can spend that delay preparing the next objective or reducing a later bottleneck. So the game becomes a routing equation. You are not only asking where Bond should go, you are asking when the menu should open, when the camera should look down, and when the next door will agree to exist. Now add randomness. Guards can stand in the wrong place. Scientists can move awkwardly. Hostages can drift. Trevelyan can choose slow behavior. Natalia can become the center of the universe. GoldenEye speedrunning is not just execution. It is execution under a cloud of small random events, where a perfect opening can die because one non-player character walks half a step too far. That is why the best runners are not just fast. They are incredibly good at reading disaster early and deciding whether a run is still alive. The oldest documented era feels completely different. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the community was building the language of the game at the same time it was building the leaderboard. Speedrun Wiki's Old World Record video archive shows this early texture, tiny captures, old file formats, and records that are clearly slower than today but already obsessive. The Imagegen is a perfect example. The archived era had Michael Kirkness at 53 seconds. The current record is 52, tied by a huge crowd of players. That sounds like 1 second. But in a level this short, 1 second means the whole room order, the guard boost possibilities, the door timing, and the movement line have been squeezed almost flat. Dam also shows the cruel simplicity of GoldenEye. There is no long boss fight to save you. If the first approach is slightly weak, the record is probably dead before the level really looks dramatic. Runway is even more brutal. Current agent is 21 seconds. Secret agent is 22, and that time has a massive tie list. The level is tiny, but the pressure's enormous. Runway is a sprint where the question is not, can you finish? The question is, can you finish while keeping the diagonal line, the tank interaction, the objective timing, and the clock all under control? This is the first reason GoldenEye records go viral. The viewer can understand the objective in 5 seconds, then watch the runner fight for something that looks impossible to improve.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Facility is the cultural center of the whole game. If you know one GoldenEye speedrun, it is probably Facility. The current agent record is 42 seconds by Rayan Isran. 42 seconds for the bathroom drop, the hallway line, the scientist chaos, the door timing, and the objective finish. Facility is famous because every casual player remembers it as a place. The vents, the toilet start, the lab, the bottling room. Speedrunners see a machine made of opening doors and fragile timing. The old archive footage had Facility agent at 46 seconds. The modern record is 4 seconds faster, and those 4 seconds are not cosmetic. They are a different understanding of the stage. Facility also teaches the difficulty problem. Agent, Secret Agent, and 00 Agent are not just the same mission with more health on enemies. Higher difficulties add objectives, change routing, and force extra actions. A 42-second agent route cannot simply become a 00 Agent route by playing a little cleaner. The current Facility 00 Agent record is 51 seconds. That is only 9 seconds slower than Agent, but it asks the player to do more inside a route that already has almost no air. That is GoldenEye in miniature. The game looks like a shooter. The speedrun is a contract negotiation with objectives. Bunker 1 is one of the funniest examples of record compression. Agent is 16 seconds. The run is so short that a tiny movement error feels like a whole disaster. When a stage gets that short, the story becomes almost philosophical. Is the player still racing the level, or just trying to make the game start, accept the inputs, and stop at the exact right second? Silo stretches the idea out. It is elevators, scientists, circuit boards, and long lines of movement. Current agent is 59 seconds, and the higher difficulties add more routing pressure. Silo also makes pausing feel important. If the game gives you a forced wait, the best players ask whether the menu can be used inside that wait, instead of paid for somewhere else. Frigate is a hostage and objective level, which means the runner is not fully in control. Current agent is 21 seconds, but the higher difficulties become a much more awkward dance. The funny thing about GoldenEye is that the less control the player has, the more precise the top runners become. Randomness does not make them sloppy. It forces them to understand every backup. Surface 2 and Bunker 2 show the darker side of optimization. These are not glamorous levels for casual players. They are routing problems with alarms, guards, cameras, and rooms that punish hesitation. Bunker 2, agent is 20 seconds. It looks like a quick escape, but the leaderboard tells the real story. A tiny mission can still carry years of technique and dozens of elite players. Archives is even shorter. Agent is 15 seconds. At that point, the first turn, the door, and the line out of the room are the entire universe.
That's it, man. Game over, man.
These tiny levels matter because they reveal the psychology of the scene. A record can be short enough to explain instantly and deep enough to ruin your week. Streets changes the scale. Current Agent is 1 minute 11. Secret Agent and 00 Agent are both 1 minute 54. This is where the tank, the map, and the timer all become visible. Streets is easier for viewers to follow because the route is open and legible. You can see Bond moving across space. You can understand that any slow turn is bleeding time. Depot is another compressed routing level. Agent is 23 seconds, which sounds ridiculous until you watch the movement line and realize there is almost no room to invent a new one. Train is one of the most narratively memorable missions, and that makes it speedrun especially strange. Casual players remember the compartments, the guards, the final shot, and Natalia. The current Train Agent record is 49 seconds. Secret Agent is 121. 00 Agent is 147, and the longer versions make the ending pressure much more obvious. In a normal playthrough, Train feels like a set piece. In a speedrun, it is a corridor of timing checks that ends with an execution test. Jungle is the Xenia level, and it shows how bosses and non-player characters can define a route. Current Agent is 49 seconds, but the risk is not just raw movement. Jungle asks the runner to manage visibility, enemies, and the flow of the arena. A tiny enemy pattern can turn a clean route into emergency problem solving. Control is the big one. Agent is 355, Secret Agent is 401, and 00 Agent is 401. This level is long enough for everything to go wrong. Control is also where Natalia becomes part of the speedrun. The player is fast, but the mission still asks an ally to interact with the world on her own schedule. That is why Control records feel different. They are not just about perfect first-person movement. They are about protecting a long, fragile chain where late mistakes are devastating. The emotional cost of a failed Control run is obvious. After 3 or 4 minutes of clean play, one bad interaction near the end can erase the entire attempt. Caverns is another technical monster. Current Agent is 1 minute flat, while 00 Agent sits at 128. The geometry is messy, the shooting is risky, and the line has to stay aggressive. Caverns is a good place to see how GoldenEye asks runners to trust bad-looking movement. Looking down and sliding through corridors can feel visually wrong, but it is exactly how the engine wants to be beaten. Cradle is the opposite of Control. It is short, iconic, and tied to the final duel. Current Agent, Secret Agent, and 00 Agent are all 33 seconds. That triple 33 is one of the cleanest examples of GoldenEye becoming a solved-looking speed puzzle. The stage is tiny, the stakes are clear, and the tie lists are huge. Aztec and Egypt are the bonus mission endgame. They are short, sharp, and technically dense. Current Aztec Agent is 120. Current Egypt Agent is 43 seconds. These missions matter because they show that GoldenEye optimization did not stop at the movie campaign. The bonus stages became their own pressure chambers. Aztec is especially good for visual explanation because it includes glass, lasers, objective routing, and enemy pressure. It is a mission where route knowledge matters as much as aim. Egypt is the final compression test. A casual player sees the golden gun fantasy. A speedrunner sees door timing, line choice, and whether the level can be ended before the clock steals another second. Now zoom out to the players. Right now, Ryan Ijran, known as Perfect Ace, is the dominant name in the world record leader table. The leader table has Ryan at 35 total GoldenEye world records, with 11 of them untied. That is not a hot streak. That is an era. Behind him are names that define the modern and historical scene. Chris G., Carl Magnus Wall, Joris Q., Joachim Loom, David Clemens, Erie Butler, Carl Jobst, Jolari Pekala, and many more. GoldenEye is interesting because records are spread across a broad community, but the highest end still has recognizable dynasties. Ryan's story is not just that he has a lot of records, it is that he appears across the most punishing parts of the board, including facility, control, silo, bunker 2, train, and the single segment any percent record. That matters for the viewer because it proves the skill set transfers. The best GoldenEye players are not only specialists, they can understand the whole machine. But GoldenEye also rewards specialization. A player can become known for one level, because one level can demand years of repeated attempts. This is why the scene has a strange mix of glamour and grind. The final record video might be 1 minute long, but the route behind it can be months of resets. The WR database shows how deep that history goes. DAM starts with documented records from 1998. Facilities progression runs through early names, then modern names, and eventually Rayan's 42 in 2019. The timeline is important. GoldenEye was not rediscovered after being forgotten. It has been maintained, argued over, improved, and reproven across generations of hardware and capture quality. The old archive videos are not just nostalgia, they are evidence of how the language changed. Earlier runs already had speed, but modern runs have a much harsher relationship with lag, line, and clock abuse.
Welcome to the party, pal!
If you put old facility beside modern facility, the difference is not only movement speed. The modern run looks like the stage is being preloaded in the runner's head. The same is true of dam and runway. The old records are already fast enough to impress casual players, but modern records are fast in a different way. They look less like playing and more like extraction. The single segment any percent category is the other side of the story. Instead of grinding one level, the runner completes all agent missions in one sitting from dam through cradle. The top 80% time is Rayan's runs 21 minutes and 26 seconds. The category uses real time, so menu time, transitions, and deaths matter differently. That run is useful because it shows how the individual level culture feeds a full game speedrun. Every mission has an optimal identity, but the player has to survive all of them in sequence. Any percent also changes the emotion. In individual levels, you reset instantly when the opening is bad. In a full run, a small mistake can become a question. Can this still be saved? The top any percent board is tight enough to be dramatic. 21-26 at the top, then 21-29, 21-35, and 21-43 behind it. That tells you the full game route is not casual filler. It is its own competitive format, built on top of the individual level knowledge. At the heart of GoldenEye remains the 60 record table. It is the scoreboard that makes the game feel like a set of unsolved equations. Think about what the current table says. Agent total is 1853. Secret agent total is 2347. 00 agent total is 2716. Those totals are not full game times, they are the sum of the best known individual records. They are a theoretical monster built from many different players and many different attempts. That is why the overall combined time feels mythic. Nobody is doing that as one clean run. It is a monument made of individual moments where the game briefly cooperated. GoldenEye is also weirdly watchable because the graphics are so readable. Low poly rooms, heavy doors, bright objective spaces, and simple silhouettes make each route easy to track once you know what to look for. The problem is that the player is often looking at the floor. That is the trade-off. The game is visually clear, but the optimal route hides the action whenever lag reduction matters. For a video essay, that means the edit has to do the work. When we talk about facility, show facility. When we talk about control, show Natalia and the long defend section. When we talk about look down, show the floor.
Hasta la vista, baby.
The best way to explain GoldenEye is not with one repeated clip. It is with a rapid map of evidence, current record footage, old archive footage, record tables, and short technique moments stitched to the voiceover. The reason people keep clicking on GoldenEye stories is that the stakes are easy to understand. Everyone knows what 1 second means, and this community has spent decades proving that 1 second can still be hunted. The deeper reason it lasts is that GoldenEye is not clean. It is awkward, laggy, random, and full of systems that were never designed for a 21st century leaderboard. Perfect speed games often become sterile. GoldenEye stays alive because it is imperfect in exactly the right way. A clean modern game gives the runner predictable physics. GoldenEye gives the runner a hallway, a guard, a door, a pause menu, a frame of lag, and a timer that rounds the whole mess into seconds. That is why a record can look ugly and still be beautiful. A run staring at the ground can represent years of route theory. A 2-second mistake can be invisible to a casual viewer and obvious to anyone who knows the stage. The current state of GoldenEye speedrunning is not just nostalgia for a famous licensed game. It is a living competition with a brutally mature rule set and a leaderboard that still moves. The next great GoldenEye story might be a full game any % improvement. It might be a new control second. It might be one more supposedly impossible individual level record finally falling. And when it happens, it probably will not look cinematic. It will look like Bond moving diagonally, staring at the floor, clipping past a guard's bad decision, and reaching the end screen before the clock can object. That is the magic of GoldenEye 007 speedruns. The game is old enough to feel solved, but mean enough to keep hiding time in places only obsessive players can see. So the next time a 42-second facility clip or a 21-second runway clip looks too simple, watch the doors, watch the floor, watch the clock. Because in GoldenEye, the real enemy is not Trevelyan, it is 1 second.